business is really warfare, but it's the activity of life itself. You say, well, business means I need to open up a business. Okay, yeah, that's right. But real activity of life has to deal with all the essentials of life that we must provide for ourselves, our families, our future. I have something in my pocket that, gee, where is it? Oh, yeah. I have a gold coin. In 1961, I was sitting with Elijah Muhammad, and he took out of his pocket a gold coin. This is 1 ounce of gold, pure gold, okay? Mr. Muhammad put it on the table. He said, one day soon, this gold coin will be the new medium of exchange. White people are moving into the inner city. Some of them knocking on doors. They come with money and they ask you for your gold. Because what they're giving you, I think I got some of that in my pocket. Yeah, I think I do. Now this is paper. This is not real money. This is real money. Silver as real money. Now you young people, some of the elders in the audience, like myself, this used to be called a silver certificate. How many old people in here know when this was a silver certificate? And you know what it said on the bottom? Pay to the bearer on demand $50 in silver, the real money. This is what you call monopoly money. Oh, you didn't hear me. We're going to do some business tonight. Because business is really warfare. What's about to happen? This week it came out in the news that in 2016, all the major banks are in trouble. It started with J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. What makes a bank in trouble? When the value of the paper that they have begins to lose its value, then the bank is in serious trouble. And so are we who have our money in the bank. Now, white people that are in your neighborhood, they're in the pawn shop now, and they're telling you in the window, bring the gold, we got cash for you. They know you don't know that this is losing its value every day. But gold will increase in value. Now this one here, I bought it today, or sent a brother to get it today, because I wanted to use it to explain something. 1 ounce of gold, this little piece right here, is 12
going to go ahead and read this bio. So with that being said, I want to introduce to you and present to most Brother Farad Mahdi wears many titles. He is a husband, a father, a brother, an entrepreneur, and a CEO, to name a few. In 2016, he was released from serving a 9-year bid in the federal penitentiary. A short few months later, Brother Farad founded and launched his global network, FardMoney Network, in 2017. He is married to his sister. Let me say that again. He is married. His wife, Sister Yatiria, in 2019, and 8 months later, he retired from the corporate America. Sister Yatiria, not only a wife and mother, but a sister to many, a homemaker and an entrepreneur. Their family and business has grown significantly since their union and continues to grow. Currently, they have 5 children, 4 under the age of 10 years old, and all being homeschooled. Brother Farad and Sister Yatiri are both soldiers in the Nation of Islam. Now, my husband took that picture down real fast, but I wanted y'all to look at that beautiful, powerful couple, Brother Farad and Sister Yatiri. Don't they just look black and regal, okay? So I'm so happy tonight to introduce to you all and present to many our beautiful, powerful couple, Brother Farad and Sister Yatiri. Y'all, welcome to the Heal on Purpose podcast. Yay. I'm super excited. How y'all feeling tonight?
Blessed.
Feeling great.
Walaikum salam, peace and blessings to everyone, and thank you for having us here. I'm excited.
Yes.
We're excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And I'm waiting on my husband to come in, so maybe he'll come in shortly. There you go, Brother David. It's so good to see you, husband.
Good to see all of y'all too. It is such a blessing. Come on, I'm ready for this powerful podcast. I know they're gonna drop it like, well, I better not say that. Drop it some intelligent knowledge here on the air. I just keep it that way.
Yes, indeed. And so with that being said, when I look at you all, I look at a real powerful power couple, as they would say, in the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, through the teachers of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad under Minister Farrakhan, he said, where there's no strong family, there is no strong nation. And so just to see you both here, it just really shows me that we nation building, okay? To be able to have couples and examples that can really bring forth, the structure of the family unit to impact not just the Nation of Islam, but the world, right? And so I just wanted to say thank you all for just striving to be that good example, because we need more. Lord knows we do. We need more people to show forth that powerful example. And so this is a linked bio, but I just want to have an organic talk right now. Now, Brother Farad, I met you through Sister Yatiria. Where you from, Brother Farad?
I'm born and raised.
Lord, let me get my sister name right.
I'm born and raised in yes, I'm born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama. In the Black Isle, the Magic City, before Atlanta took it.
Birmingham, Alabama. Yes, sir. Yeah. So okay, so how many brothers and sisters do you have?
Well, I come out of
the brothers and sisters do you have?
I mean, I come out of the streets, so I come out of that lifestyle, that thug lifestyle. So I only have one biological brother, but when you run the streets like how I did, it's many brothers. I say my brother and my cousin. You know how it is, and some of us still like that today. I actually talk to some of them more than I even talk to my actual brother. We rarely talk at all, because he the type. If I call him, he'll text me. Like, I call you. You know what I'm saying? And he sent a text. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how it is. But yeah, he's 4 years older than me, and that's the only children that my mother and father had. Just us two. And we got the same mother and the same father.
Oh, just you two.
Just us two.
Same mother, same father. Wow. Okay. And then we have Sister Yatira. Sister Yatira, I'm going to apologize in advance. Please correct me on your name, Sister Yatira.
Yatira, yes, ma'am. You got, again, I want the audience to know that, you know, the name, you know, for years that has been, you know, the name that has been given to me by Sister Naira, but on my end, it has always been heard with love. So, you know, you might say Yatira, you might say Yatiria, but the audience will know that's fine. Praise be to Allah. And I love you, and that's what it is. So.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having grace and mercy on me. Because she did get me right behind the scenes, but you know, I'm so sorry. You know, when you've been conditioning, and we want to talk about this, when you've been conditioning so long to do a thing, it's hard to break conditionings, right? It's hard to break those habits. So, Sister Yatiria, you are born and raised in the city of Tampa, Florida. Am I correct? It seems like they are freezing here. That's okay. That's because all of this energy. Sister Yatiri, are you in Tampa, Florida?
Yes, ma'am. I'm in Tampa, Florida. Did you ask me? It went out for a second. Did you ask me where I was from or where I'm at now?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Okay, yes, ma'am. So yes, currently in Tampa, Florida, but I was actually born in Baltimore, Maryland. I stayed there until I was about 5 or so years old, and then my family, we moved to Utica, New York, for another 5 or so years, and then we moved down here to Florida, and I've been here ever since.
You've been here ever since, yes, ma'am. All right, so you know what? I just want to jump right into it. Tonight we are talking about love, family, and business. Now we got two different people from two different backgrounds. We got Brother Farah, who is from Alabama, okay, and then we got you, who is from Baltimore to Utica to Tampa. Yes. All right. And so it just seems like, it appears like that this is just two whole different backgrounds, upbringing, but what brought you together is via the Nation of Islam. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
All right, good. All right, yes. All right, so good. So listen, when I think about y'all story, how did y'all meet?
Social media?
Like meet, brother.
Social media. So I don't know, maybe you should
let's talk about it. Come on.
I don't know why you tried, but
I mean, all right, so you know, when I came home in 2016, you know, I was single, but I had been in the Nation while I was in the feds for the last, it had been like 5 years, I think, or close to 5 years. So when I came home, you know, I mean, you know, we was in there being raised specifically by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan with the DVDs and stuff like that. And brother James, brother Ali, and also brother Chad came once or twice to this particular yard through the prison reform ministry, as we know that the nation has the best prison reform ministry. And I met them, but you know, it was just, I mean, just be honest, you know, I thought it was a perk to have an MGT. I was like, okay, if I'm in the Nation, one of the perks is to be able to marry MGT. So when I come home, you know, I didn't focus on it straight out, but it was a goal to get married though. And I did it in like less than 3 years, I think. You know what I'm saying? And so you know, I was, you know, man, I asked the sister, we was friends on Facebook, and we also followed each other on Instagram or whatnot. And we was in some single groups in the Nation had put together, or some people in the Nation put together, whatever. And I sent her a message, and she didn't respond. But it was like 2018. But at that time, I wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? So time had passed, or whatever like that. Me and my main brother Leon 1X, she was working, who she was working with, she had a company truck, and she did a live stream on Instagram, and me and him was somewhere out soldiering somewhere. But I'm in Birmingham, we out soldiering somewhere now. But prior to this though, this is how a lot worked. I was finna move to Miami, just flat out, just go move to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I was just feeling like I'm going to Miami. I'm going, don't know nobody. I don't care. I'm moving to Miami. I'm getting out of Birmingham. So Miami was my destination. So like I said, I followed her on Instagram and whatnot. And she was one of the few people, because typically, if I follow you, if me and you friends on Facebook, I pretty much won't follow you on Instagram. Like, because I didn't want it to mirror, you know what I'm saying? That's just how I just do my social media. But she was one of the ones, I don't know how, but I still follow. She used to do live streams like almost every morning. And she was doing a live stream, going somewhere, you know, at work. You know, she was supposed to be on the phone, but she live at work on the phone. And she was like, I'm always strapped, you know what I'm saying? Like she talking about the final call. She always strapped with final calls. Now this is an MGT. Now this is not MGT language like that, right? You don't find that. So she said that.
Right.
So I showed the brother Leon. I showed it. We like I said, we was on the block in the east side of Birmingham. We was out pushing. I showed it to him. He was like, "Black man, that's your wife, black man." You know,
but Leon, I always knew you was the real one.
He was like, "Black man, that's your wife." And right before that, this is real. Right before that, because my brother Leon, he married. He has a wife, right? And and she's an MGT as well. And so we all kind of close, you know what I'm saying? Because me and him ran together like every day. But like a month before this, he had a dream that I was married, but he couldn't see the sister face. He had a dream about me. Yeah, he called me like, I had a dream like, man, you was married, you got married, you was married, brother. You had a wife, brother. I'm like, really? I'm like, what you look like? He's like, I couldn't see her face. It wasn't no name or nothing. And now about a month later, this thing kind of happened. So now when I, you know, asked her, you know, the information to put in the proper courtship through the proper channels or whatever like that, she responded to this message. Now, one in 2018, she didn't respond.
Didn't even see it.
So she didn't get crossed out. You know, I'm sitting around waiting on nobody now. You know what I'm saying? So she didn't get X'd out. She didn't get X'd out. You know what I'm saying? And I just kept going. Because you tell me no, I ain't interested. You know, okay. I ain't gonna bother you. I'm not gonna bug you now. You know what I'm saying?
But let me say this too. when I did that live stream, it's so ironic. I was in St. Pete when I was doing this live stream, riding around and getting into my little truck, and I had them. You know, I like you said. That's what I said. I stayed strapped with them final calls because when I came in, I was like, you know, I wanted to be like the brothers. I seen them. That's who I saw. Like, oh, this is how we can be out there with the community with the final call newspaper. So then my husband, when after that live stream, he shot me a picture of his back seat, and he had like 2 stacks. I don't even know.
No, I had about 400-500, about 4-5 bundles on the back seat.
Oh, it was like bundles. Okay.
I ain't used to put them in the trunk because I ain't had no children and nobody ride. I ride with one person or nobody. Yeah. So my back seat, nobody never was getting back there.
So he had them stacks, and he said Nobody. So he sent me that picture, and he was like, okay, look at this, you know. So shortly after that, that's when that courtship the request came in, and I told my sister when it happened. I said, oh, that's my husband.
I was flexing. I was showing her what being strapped really looked like. And she had a little 25, a little 10 papers. I'll let her know this is really being strapped. You know, I'm riding around with the Draco with that chocolate. Right. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't know nothing about
got 100 rounds.
Right. So. Right. Right. Okay. Wow, this is hilarious. But you know, it's so beautiful to see how the word can bring us together. Literally. And so, Brother Farrar, you said something literally, okay? But you said something so intriguing. You said it was one of the perks of joining the Nation of Islam to get married to an MGT. But you also accepted Islam in the federal penitentiary. Now, while you was in the federal penitentiary and you accepted Islam, like, what was that like for you? Because it's like a different process, I would imagine.
Well, this wasn't my first encounter with the nation. I mean, it was like Allah was grooming me, like literally. It was like Master Fard Muhammad, him, the scientist, the Most Honorable Muhammad, somebody, right, in that divine circle, was leading me to the nation my whole life. Like I'm not exaggerating. And because like I said, I ran the streets heavy, so I was a terrible criminal because I always got caught, and I got caught for serious things, more shooting cases, stuff like that. So I wasn't getting out quick. You know what I'm saying? Like I had homeboy, you catch them little dope charges, they get right out a month, 2 months. I'm doing years, and started doing that when I was like 17. I'm doing years, but each time I would get closer and closer to the nation. And to this day, I cannot tell you the first time I ever heard the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's voice. I seen him and knew who he was. But it's like I always knew him, though. I mean, it's like I always knew him. And so that was this time here, it was a switch, but I come out of the gang lifestyle too. So I used to be a gangster disciple. So, and I used to push that in the feds. I pushed that in the feds. So I was online with them. So I did a switch from going with them, and they do stuff organized. So it wasn't really that big of a switch. It was just based on my image being a gang member, and on the same yard. Now I'm saying I'm trying to be a righteous man, right? So that was the, people like, nigga, you fake, nigga, you didn't talk. We get all that.
Right.
They would challenge us. And then, when you was fresh, with the nation, everybody telling you, the Christians coming at you sideways, saying this, people saying that. So I would just ask the brother who trained me and groomed me, hey man, when they say this, what to say? Then I say certain things. He was like, well, I know for a fact. Ain't no Sunni said anything to you about anything domestic. They ain't said nothing. They ain't even brought that up. So he was just strapping me with the defense. And it was a challenge, but on that particular yard, it was the best environment for me because we used to be locked down in the cell so much. Anything could happen because this was just USP. This is a high level federal prison yard, right? So you talking about stabbings, gang fights, all this go on all the time. Police getting stabbed, all this go on, right? But any little thing, when I joined with them in there, we would be locked down 10 days here, 20 days here. Now we in the cell, we ain't coming out. You know what I'm saying? But when I joined with them, they gave me a Holy Quran, the Malanda Ali translation. I had never read it. I had never even picked up a Quran. I had to go back to them and say, I'm reading the content at the beginning thing. And I'm like, what is this? I said, this can't be the Quran. What am I reading? So I had to take it to them and say, hey, y'all got to show me how to read this, right? And so they gave me the Holy Quran. They didn't give me the full message to the black man. They gave me the first chapter. They gave me the first chapter. I think it's Allah is God. They gave me the first chapter. And I had my brother, I ordered from the streets. He ordered me Message to the Black Man, Say Has Arrived, Fall of America, How to Eat to Live, books 1 and 2. And he got me a 6-month subscription to the Final Call. So as we in the cell, like the cell was like a womb to me. So I'm in there studying at first. We locked down all the time. I'm studying literally 6, 7, 8 hours. Like I'm just studying. It's because we locked down anyway. Ain't nothing to do. Work out, eat, sleep. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm studying. I'm up late at night, early in the morning. I'm just studying. So, and then when we wouldn't be on lockdown, we could go to the chapel and watch DVDs of the ministry. You know what I'm saying? So it was great. That environment was needed for me to get the necessary study because I had to prepare myself because at that time I did have a child already, my oldest daughter, and she was, when I left, she was like 4. So at the time I come to the nation, she was this 2012, she wasn't even 10 yet. She's 20 now. She wasn't even 10 yet. And I just was like, how can I gotta do something to never leave her again. That was my whole whatever I have to do. So I had to build myself up because we weren't even communicating because her mother would not keep the communication with me and her going because she was little. She would have to sit down and write letters with her. She 5, 6, 7. You know what I'm saying? She wouldn't keep it. I asked her, I almost begged her to do it. Like, listen, you don't have to read it. Just let her read it so we can have a relationship so it won't be so hard to build when I come home. So that's how that went. So that was the real struggle, was me building up the discipline and the mentality, because when you live a certain type of life, you have to get the desires. See, we think folk be institutionalized. We think our brothers in the streets don't want to change. It ain't that. It's that lifestyle, that desire for that lifestyle that they have. So something has to happen. That's why most of the brothers who come out of the street come to the nation are in a religious group. They find it in prison, or they in the county jail, or they somewhere locked up. Now they got time to think. They got time to read. They got time to watch something. You know what I'm saying? Now it starts penetrating that desire, unless you want to constantly do this. So that was the challenge for me right there. So my mind was to, okay, so I'm finna get out, don't sell no drugs, don't do nothing like that. And I had never had a job. So imagine me getting out at 30-some years old, and I had never worked a job outside of being in prison. Never. Not McDonald's, nothing. All I did was street stuff, whole life.
Wow.
Right? So I had to get out now, trying to find a job, whatever like that. And then, with the reputation I might have had, I probably perceived that I thought I had. I'm like, well, I can't just work at McDonald's, because anybody find, oh, brother, working. Hey man, what's the name out, right? Yeah, he working at McDonald's right up here. On, you know what I'm saying? And Birmingham, they wild. They come see you. So you know what I'm saying? But that's right there.
Wow.
That was a long answer. I'm gonna take it.
I mean, no, and I get it, and I'm gonna skip right over to my sister, but I just have such a passion to hear the stories of one coming out of prison and really finding that thing that works, because my affinity with your story is my father passed away in prison. Okay. Mm-hmm. So he didn't get that opportunity to come out. He didn't get that opportunity, but the seed that he put in me, that, basically everybody don't make it out, right? However, in his leaving in prison, that's what gave birth to the repair of the Black family. So to hear your story, to see that the desire to change, the desire to do something different, especially for your daughter, is so, I want to say it's life-giving, right? Because you had that image, you had that vision, you had that passion, and then you actually did something about it. And as both of y'all story unfold, you're successful. And so the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, desire feeds the will, right? We're talking about love, family, and business. And you said, even in the prison, in the Nation of Islam, you was being groomed. You knew you was going to get out. You knew you was going to do something different, and then Allah sent you your help me. Am I correct? Come on now, let me know. Check if I'm right or wrong. He sent you a help me.
And the thing about it too, okay, so as I'm on the yard, the federal system yard, prison yard runs the yard is ran different from state prison, right? So in the federal prison, you run with your state, or you run with a gang. Are you in the religion? This is the fractions, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm from Alabama. Alabama has a car, as we call it in there, but I'm not on Alabama time. I'm on GD time, gang time. And gang is more wild, more organized, more structured. You know what I'm saying? Somebody at the top, calling shots type of thing, right? And I had the desire to want to do, but it was like I wanted to do right with them, because what Larry Hoover tried to change the whole mentality of GD was to growth and development, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He changed the principles and what we supposed to stand on and what we supposed to be doing or whatever like that. But you got the wicked ones are the ones in it. Like some of our brothers out of that Midwest, like that's all they know is drama. They don't know nothing else. Because we on the yard, they're talking about this. It's gravy. So all we want to do is like get high, drink, gamble a little bit. We don't want to fight, but they come down and they want to fight. They want to stand for. Like, hold on, man, we chilling. Like, what y'all talking about? You know what I'm saying? So, but I seen then that trying to be right in that, and really the bedrock out of the root of that organization was not right. So it could never mix. You feel what I'm saying? So I had to literally leave them, come to the nation where the nation is structured on being right. You know what I'm saying? Being truth. That's that structure there. So it led me to, okay, well, I can do this. I can stop, man. I can stop smoking. I can stop eating pork. You know what I'm saying? I can stop doing this. I can stop thinking like this. I can stop, doing the things that I knew was because once I heard who is God, that lecture, that's like one of my favorites.
No, that's
and
what got me. That's what got me in the nation, my brother. That lecture right there. Who is God?
Who is God?
That's how I accepted the teachings. Yeah.
When I heard the minister say this, and I can still hear him saying it now, because I still watch this on every now and then so often, right? He said, if you can recognize who he is, then you can recognize who you is. He was talking about if we could recognize Master FardMoney for being who we are taught he is. He said, if you can recognize who he is, then you can recognize who you is. So it was nobody had to tell me to shave. Nobody had to tell me to stop doing it. I stopped doing it. They didn't even have to hit me with the restricted law. I just stopped doing it because I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, man, I can get into shape. I can eat 1 meal a day. I just was, you know what I'm saying, was just growing into a guard right there because it was all up to what's going through here. It's the mentality, the thought process. Start reading more. Stop listening to rap. Stop watching sports. I stopped doing everything that kept just my mind cluttered with foolishness. Like right now, I used to love basketball, football. I ain't watched a game in years. I'm talking about probably over a decade. I haven't sat down and watched a game. You know what I'm saying? But that's how far I'm removed of it. And I used to be a stat person. I argue up and down about the stats. You know what I'm saying? And that's why probably it led me to the nation, because Brother Jabril was like that as well. He was a baseball fanatic when he came to the nation.
I got that, but let me say this. Thank you. And you dropping some bombs, and trust me, I can sit here and listen to you all day. I have a few questions though. So with that being said, what I'm hearing from you, Brother Fard, is nothing like a made up mind. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so as our listening audience is listening, no matter where you at in your life, no matter what you're doing, when you have the desire and the ability to make up your mind, it can change the trajectory of your life. That's what I'm getting from your story, right? And then the power of the word. The word, in the beginning was the word, right? So the word, and I can see I can envision from where you were, you telling your story in the prison to where you are now, the power of your transformation. And there's a lot of passion in that. And that's what we need to change lives. We're talking here on Heal on Purpose, how to eradicate generational trauma, And I only can imagine what your daughter see from her father coming out of prison and to be a stand-up God, to being a man that she can actually look up to, honor, and respect. And you have a beautiful wife on your side, and Sister Yatira, I heard you say when he sent those courtship papers, or he sent, was it the picture or the courtship papers? You knew right then that was your husband. Okay. You knew what was it in that you knew what was the attractive power, because y'all like met and then y'all literally got married. And I mean, it's just really, it's like, it's a true love story. So what was it about this brother that you see on the internet that sent you a bundle full of papers that you knew in that moment that was your husband?
Wow, praise be to Allah. That's a beautiful question. So when he sent me the picture on Instagram, my response was actually like, brother, why are you sending me a picture? I thought it was cool. It was good to, it was cool that he had the phone call, because I love the soldier aspect of it. But at the same time, I was like, yeah, I made a live stream talking about don't DM me. That was my attitude about it. But I think some more time had gone by since then. Like, that was the interaction there. But I don't even know how long it had been. I didn't see much on his page at that time. There was nothing that stuck out then. When he messaged me asking me if I was open, to a courtship, if he could send in the proper courtship request, It was the fact that I was at work that day. And that same day, within that week, but I believe that day as well, I was inboxed on Facebook by two older brothers. At this time, I'm like 28, 27, right? And it was two older brothers that had to have been in their like 50s, close to 60s, if not. That was telling me that they, they was interested in courting me, and they was older. They was, I don't know if they listened, but they was, they wasn't for me. And and I started talking to Allah while I was at work. I was like, Allah, I know you got a sense of humor, and I think you being funny right now, because I'm like, now I've been patient, I've been steadfast, I've been focusing on my relationship with you. But I think I'm ready to get married. And I say that it was those requests that came in, and I know that as a woman in this world, it is, this world is not designed to breed strong women who are strong in God. That's what I mean by when I say a strong woman, right? This world does not create that environment for us, doesn't give us that knowledge, none of that. So these were tests, though, because in the past, if a man showed interest in me, it was very hard for me to turn a man down. Like, I don't want to be mean. I don't want him to think that so even if nothing came from it, it still was just hard for me to say no. No, I don't want to court you. Maybe I would waste time in a courtship just because I don't want to hurt your feelings. So Allah was sending me these other ones, and I was like, dang, I guess He's making me have to say no, because I'm not going to play with you. I'm not going to play with myself. No, sir. I'm sorry. No. So I had like 3 tests like that. So then I started talking to Allah. So that day I said to Allah, I'm leaning on the machine that I work at, a big old copier. And I'm like, Allah, you playing? Like, I'm ready to get married, and this is what you sending me. Then the next message that came was him. And I was like, oh. I said, oh, okay. Because he came correct too. I wasn't desperate for a man at all. I was just talking to my God about, I'm ready to get married. If it be your will, anytime soon. Like, I'm open to it, but I'm letting you know what we supposed to do. Ask so that we can receive. I'm knocking so a door could be open, but I'm still waiting for God to do it. I wasn't out there messaging brothers. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to God. This is a personal conversation. So when my husband messaged me, and he messaged me respectfully for the courtship paper, because I'm a stickler on that, I said, oh yeah, he the one. Allah said, okay, so you were just being funny to see how I was going to act, and then you sent him. So I called my sister. I said, I'm getting married next year, because this was in December of 2018 when my husband messaged me. We got into courtship, started officially January 2019, but I told her on that day, I said, I'm getting married next year. And we got married 4 months later. Praise be to Allah.
So you knew that the God had answered your prayers, because you asked, and He said, asking you shall receive. And you knew on that day when you got those papers, that was your husband. Now I want to tell you something. And I know my husband has a question over here, but let me tell you why I honestly know that this story is so amazing, because my husband and I met over the phone, and within 3 days, I knew that was my husband. Yeah. So as the listening audience listen to our stories, there is a thing that's called love, the power of love. And when that love is based upon God Himself, you just instantly know, because you meet God in that person. Come on now.
Yes.
You meet the God in that person. So thank you all both for sharing so much, and being so vulnerable, to be like an open book. In the Nation of Islam, the book that your husband referred to as the Holy Quran is called The Opening. And so we hope that we, as you all are listening to this, that we're open enough that you can find yourself in our stories. And so, Brother Fard and Sister Yateria, as the people listen to your love story, because that's what this is, right? Your love story. Is there a such thing as as love at first sight? Would you say that? If a person listening be like, "Now, come on now, hold up," and would you say, based upon how y'all met, was that just like, okay, Allah did that for y'all, but is there really a thing that's called love at first sight?
If you're asking me, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. Because I think that because God is love. God is real in each of us. So for him to answer somebody's prayer in real time, it's still going to be based on what that person and how that person communicates and sees him. He knows how best to drop a hint and a sign for a person. So for somebody, it may be a sound. You just said a telephone that was hearing. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So for somebody else, it didn't have to be social media. It could have been a walk down a park, walk down on a beachfront, and God answered it and wanted it to be significant to you. So you saw that person and you knew something immediately then. So, God, God got that, he got that kind of authority, to make us to know. And then it's on that person on what they need. He knows how to answer them when they're asking, when they're seeking, and when they're knocking. He knows how to give it to them. So absolutely, you could. Absolutely. That's my answer.
All right, y'all. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it from Sister Student Minister. All right, let me pass this digital microphone. Brother Farad, did you want to say anything as it relates to that?
I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but I would say no. Because love is something that has to be built. It might feel like that's what it is, but love has to be built. What if you have that desire for that particular person, it still has to be built over time through the trials and tribulations. What have y'all overcame? See, we have overcome a lot. So we could have had love for each other, but we still had to grow to be truly in love with each other. Because because our love and what we say had to be tested. You feel what I'm saying? So, as the minister say, most people come together and they conceive, and the child was born on a low thought. And he didn't say most people come on a low thought, but the high thought, is the building over time. And that's what the courtship is important, though, to see, because I'm going to say this for the sisters, all the sisters watching. You better choose your mate through the courtship process. Whether you're in the nation or not, you should go through that. You should learn that process to vet people. It's like vetting people, right? And I'm just going to tell you, if the man, he can look good, he can have a nice job. If he ain't really got no vision, you wasting your time. You're going to run it because that stuff going to dry out. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to need you to run that back one more time. If he don't have
a vision, and he can't just have a vision. He got to, because See, look, this is the thing. See, she came to me. I had been working in the vineyard. I was pushing the Final Call newspaper I used to go out 7 days a week. My brothers in Birmingham, you can call, I can get them all on the phone here, bear me witness. I used to take all the papers in the mall and push them. I used to go out I used to lead a Mars meeting on Sunday and go to the block by myself. Right? Before FOI class, I'd be out there by myself. Sometimes with somebody, right? Tuesday, Thursday, every day I had a 7-day schedule for 3 corners in Birmingham. 3 corners. I would probably go to each corner like 2 days. One of them, the main corner, I would do 3 days over there, right? But this was it. So I was working. And I had a business. So I'm already free. I had already walked away from the job. You feel me? Because they put such a bad taste in my mouth, them Koreans, right? So I had a job. Let me just give you this story. I had a job, right? A warehouse job. Well, it was like a core steel plant. And the Koreans owned it, right? And I used to work in the hardest department in there. We made the pallets. Me and just one other dude, one other brother, just 2 of us, we made the pallets. Without the pallets, ain't nothing moving. Because they got to sit them course steel, brother Dave Dawood probably know what I'm talking about. They had to sit them course steels on the pallets to get them on the trucks. So without the pallets, they can't ship out nothing, right? So we had a meeting one day, and they never talked to us. They used to always tell us in the meeting, y'all go back, y'all good. Y'all go back. Because you know what I'm saying? Because we were the only two brothers in the whole facility that would want to work there. I used to work 10 hours a day. 10 hours a day. I used to go to work I used to have to be there at 8 to 5. But they used to allow me to clock in early. I used to clock in at 6 to get 10 hours. Thinking I'm trying to get out the rat race. And I'm thinking that'd make a difference. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of did, right? But I had a business. I launched a network in the midst of this. And we had a meeting. And then they wanted to put extra work on us. And all I said was, well, you know, I'm going to thank them. They knew something was different about me because they used to eat lunch and all that stuff. I never eat. The president, not the president. He was the what's after the, okay, so you had the supervisor, the manager. What's after the manager? I think it was the president. The president. He used to park his car by ours. We came from lunch one day. I just probably would leave and go get a coffee or something like that, come back, and he parked by me. And he looked in my car. And he was like, "Damn, your car clean?" You know what I'm saying? Then they used to bring lunch on Fridays, and I would never eat. And they're like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what's wrong with them? And I used to check brothers, you know what I'm saying? Talking to the Koreans about the sisters. I'm like, man, you don't see, he ain't talking to you about the Koreans. You know what I'm saying? What you doing? Like, I used to be checking them in front of them like that, though, right? And that man said, so when I said, when they tried to put extra work on just me and the brother, all I said was, hey, look, just give us another person. Give us a third person. Put a third person in there with us, and we can do all of that. You know what I'm saying? One of the Koreans, he was the manager. He looked at me and said, it don't work like that. He said, you out of here. So I was like, what? And then, you know, I kind of went back. Listen, I kind of went back. I'm already working my vision now. I'm already doing that. But I kind of went back into 1995 or 96, right? And I walked out of there, and I had I almost uppercut him. I almost rocked his chin, right? Because that's the way he
wait a minute, brother Farad.
He did it so polite, though. It was just so polite. It was just like, it don't work like that. He was like, your services is no longer needed. And then look, so I go to he was like, you know, so I left everybody in there. I ain't, you know, bed. I went to my locker, got my stuff, and then I had to walk out of the clock out area with, you know what I'm saying? And I seen him. I said his name was DK. He's Korean. I said, DK. I said, for me, the way I see it, or me giving my opinion about the situation, that's what you fired me for? This is what he told me. It took me a couple hours to really catch what he said. He said, it's your voice. It's your voice. Now I'm thinking like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hold on, like, damn, did I say it loud? Was my tone high pitch or whatever like that? So I had to go home or get back to the city. And I'm thinking about it. It took me about 3 hours. I said, oh, he said it's your voice. He didn't say your tone. He said it's your voice. We want slaves out of these Negroes. You in here voice for reasoning. Because what you said is right and exact. And I promise you, 2 weeks later, they put a third person in that department. 2 weeks later. So it was really, that was just an avenue to go ahead. And I think it was a setup. Because they never talked to me and bro, because they used to talk to them about stuff on the floor. We ain't on the floor. So what they having a meeting about is irrelevant to us. So they used to tell us to go back. Y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead. Y'all good. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to try to so-called keep us happy. Because without us, there ain't nothing going on. But 2 weeks later, because I'm still talking to co-workers, you know, I had numbers and stuff. And they told me, they said, man, they put a third person in here, man. They replaced you. And they put a third person in here, man. There's 3 people in here right now. I said, ain't that something? Wow. So that put a bad taste. What am I saying is, you know, that put a bad taste in my mouth about the job. That was it. I said, I ain't gonna never do that again. You know what I'm saying? That was it. Now I did eventually, after that, work at the union, in the labor union. Oh man, them folks so racist up in the labor union. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Them folks hitting you with like 3, 4 times.
I'm sure. Listen,
it's ridiculous.
I ain't gonna stop you, but I know we could go on and on about that. But you done gave me the vision. Okay, you done painted the picture, and you was giving a point to the sister that we better have a man with a vision. And as it relates to that, that's where we stand now, right? We got a vision. I know David wanted to say something.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny that I hear you saying what you're saying, and I think sometimes for me, I'm thinking about what you said about, and this is not a challenge by any means at all, but I'm just thinking about how you viewed the phrase love at first sight. And I just think sometimes with certain words, it has more of a spiritual meaning than it does a physical meaning. And I'm just listening to how you're teaching what you're teaching to us and sharing with us about your life and your experience. And I'm so elated because it's giving me energy. It's literally giving me the energy. And I love the connection that you and your queen have. And my question is this: because I see, for me, Yao's connection and how the two of you were brought together, because we're talking about love, family, and business, the word find, right? And the reason why I had to define the word find was, well, that was some time ago, but he who finds a wife finds a good thing, right? You know that scripture. Absolutely. And I wanted to look more into that, right? But the word find means to discover something valuable, recognize something valuable, or perceive something valuable. To me, because you had already had the mind for a wife, you were preparing yourself as a husband. To me, your wife was already a wife. She wasn't just a woman. Because see, we can find a woman. You see what I'm saying? But he who finds a wife finds a good thing. To me, I see how the two of you come together. So the question is, because you found a wife, how does that relate to what you and your queen are doing in terms of business? Is there a relation?
Well, I mean, absolutely, because if she is the help meet of the man, right? So that was going to the point that I was making, that a wife don't come before work. The originator created all the stuff, and then his head was pain. He needed consolation. He needed compassion. Then the woman was there, but in his mind, she wasn't there physically, right? And then he brought her out to console him, for consolation. So he had already worked. As the minister say, the woman doesn't come before, your wife don't come before work, because she got to find a man doing what he has in his mind to do, that's really for her and the babies that they could be blessed to have for the future. Like, what is the plan for them? So all the stuff that I was doing, it was to have a family, just like I envisioned all of this. Like, I envisioned moving. I envisioned us being in an apartment, to the townhouse, to the 2 cars, to now we're in a 5-bedroom. I envisioned all of this, and I even got a vision. This ain't even complete, right? Because I'm about a $2 million, $3 million home, right? So this is just the steps in the stages, because you have to see yourself before. I saw myself, literally. I saw myself when I used to be in prison, and I used to see the families at Savior's Day, the Savior Day lecture. I saw myself with a family at Savior's Day, because this was a high priority, right? Well, who wants to be single? Who wants to be alone? So our business is that, not that she don't have goals, You know what I'm saying? Not that the woman can't have vision of her own, but it's kind of like, okay, and a man don't want to be too successful financially before he get his wife, because now what is she gonna help him accomplish? You feel what I'm saying? So I got a track record to say, my wife helped me accomplish all of this. You feel what I'm saying? Because when we met together, I'm working, but when we got together, I stayed with my father. You feel me? She stayed on her own, right? With the 2 children she had, Kamalia and Michael, her nephew she took in, right? Now that's another thing. So I went into courtship with her, trying to marry her and knowing that this is 2 more people. So I'm like, but my vision is I can take care of family. I mean, I can do this, right? So it took me a few months, about 9 months, 8, 9 months. And then I took over all the bills, took over everything, took her off when she was pregnant with Fahima, our first child together, right? Right before Fahima was born. Boom. And we did a midwife, do everything. We did it, you know what I'm saying? So all our children was born in the midwife, not the hospital. But that take money, right? So, you know what I'm saying? So that you have to see it. I saw it, and I still see it where I'm trying to get to now, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna say that now, because that might scare some folks that might hear this, but you know, but that's that you have to see it. So yes, I saw her doing it because she's a natural networker. I'm not. I had to train. She does it natural. She could see when you're in business, especially in network marketing type of business, you got to have compassion for the people. Now, me, you, brother, we struggle with that. You know what I'm saying? We quick to but the wife, especially her, she's just a natural communicator. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it can be a negative sometimes, because then because you can take too much time with one particular person when you can be doing other things. So I had to get on about that. Like, hey, listen, you can't answer. That's why we got videos. Send them a video. You can be talking to somebody else, helping somebody else. You can't be stuck with one person for an hour, 2 hours, talking about you helping them. Well, that ain't helping the revenue, that one person. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep it business now. You know what I'm saying? But that's the congruent of the natures, because we are more militant by nature. You know what I'm saying? And the woman is more feminine by nature, more compassionate by nature. So we have to bring that together, and we should be doing the same business. So if it ain't the business I present, it got to be the business she presents, but we should be doing the same business. She shouldn't be doing whatever she's doing and I'm over here doing something else. Why? You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. That's like both of us having a job and she going one direction, I go in another direction. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing for the cause that we have been called to? So that's a definite yes to that question.
Good. Thank you, brother.
That was a beautiful response. And it brings me to Sister Yeteria and Brother Farad. Where there's no vision, the people shall perish. And in marriage, in love, family, and business, on all aspects, we have to be equally yoked. Would you agree?
Yes.
You know, the power of being on the same frequency or in alignment with one another. And the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that there's 3 sciences that the enemy is not going to teach you. And as you all are listening to this, and we're giving our stories, and we're listening to this power couple, and we're looking at the science of business, right? The science of mating. Okay, you said something very powerful, Brother Farad, that all your children together was born by midwife, right? So that's a whole nother thing, you know, when you look at the science of mating in business as warfare. Okay, so before I go there, let me just go back, because it was one question that I had in my mind. I'm gonna skip that. One question I had in my mind was about you all coming together. Brother Farad, you said that she already had 2 children. You had it in your mind that you could take this on. Sister Yeteria, you seen this brother, y'all got married. How was it bringing the blended family together? Like, what was that like for you, Sister Yeteria? Being able to have him to come in and take you on as a wife, take on 2 children, and then start a whole nother family. How was that bringing the family together as a blended family?
Wow. Beautiful. It was for me personally, it's been a rather smooth transition because of the teachings, you know, because of our spiritual father, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. The way that I looked at what this marriage was to be and what marriage is, what this journey is, knowing that we didn't do step, you know, he wasn't a stepfather, there was no step, none of that was not, that wasn't even the language. But I recall, and he could probably tell it better than me, but I just remember when as we were recording, different questions and different conversations that were had, I started to I guess you would say incorporate, or I referred to Kamalia. That's what it was. I told Kamalia one day, we were talking, and I was like, I said something to the fact like, this is going to be your new dad, or like, or this is that. This is going to be.
You said this is your other dad, or
something like that. So my mindset was all about the incorporation of making us one family, one unit, you know. And so this wasn't like dating where, you know, you're dating somebody and trying to figure out to see if, you know, at what point do you introduce them to, you know, to a degree there is. But once I knew that we were, you know, that this was going to be that, it was early on in the process, as far as Kamalia even being introduced to him, you know, our interaction with the children, with both of them as well, Michael as well, because Michael obviously, you know, he was there. So for me, like I said, it was very important to breed the environment. And to me, it just boiled down to communication. It just boiled down to, you know, understanding that everybody here has feelings, even as the children. I never liked the idea of throwing away a child and their reality, their feelings, and what's real for them. So being able to, like, I'm a woman who, yes, I desire to be with a man, but I was never willing to compromise for my daughter. I was never willing to compromise and say, you know, well, if he's not, you know, if he don't like her, or if he's going to be rough with her, then, you know, oh, well, I need a man. Like, my mindset was about protecting her while also showing that there's a, you know, this is how the bridges need to come together so that we can make this, you know, a unit. And then again, because I did have my nephew, Michael, that was significant too, because that was a very delicate situation. That's now, you know, there's another, my sister then was involved, you know, to a degree. This is a really big family unit that involves other people getting to know people, respecting boundaries. So all of these things have to be on the mind in order for us to transition and move about to make this a successful and a positive reality. You know, all those things had to be prevalent, had to be discussed. So, you know, by Allah's grace, by having those thoughts in my mind from what the minister teaches about family, what the purpose of family is, we're nation building, as my husband was saying about vision. We have an end goal. You know, we have the valuable product. We got an end goal. So we got to deal with all these things to see how they relate, self-improvement, all of these things matter. So it's like, okay, we have, this is the end goal. So we have the vision, we can see the goal line. Here's what we have to work with. Now, how are we going to work it? That was always the attitude about it, and work, you know, and even if that meant going outside of the house to get more information, to get more resources, to get more help, because it wasn't, to me, especially, I used to always think, I don't have all the answers. I don't necessarily know exactly what needs to be done. So the willingness to even say, help me. I don't know what to do in this area. Never experienced this. I'm having difficulty even communicating some things, not knowing how to communicate, or what am I feeling? I'm feeling, you know, so all of that. But because we had that end goal, then everything else was just gonna, you know, be worked out. So.
And I mean, that's powerful within itself as we look at, healing the family unit. One of the key words that I heard is help, help us, help me, help. And that's not something that as a culture or people that we're willing to do because, we don't want people so-called in our business, right?
Right.
But when you are bringing together a family unit, a blended family, you're reorganizing, you're structuring it under the law. This is what I'm hearing from your story, y'all story, under the law of God.
Yes.
There has to be a willingness. There has to be healthy boundaries. And the number one thing that I heard both of y'all say is the level of communication. Seeing the end result. So as people are listening to this podcast, no matter where you are on the planet, it has to be some type of willingness. And we're blessed to be in the nation of Islam and have a structure and have these resources, but not everybody have access to this type of structure and training. It's available, but they don't readily have access to it. What advice would you give a family or an individual that's listening to this, have a blended family, and may come in with, the stepdaddy, stepmama mentality, this is my child. Because it takes a lot to bring a man in the house and let him discipline the children or rear the children, or even a woman coming into an already made family and got to, bring this, like you said, bring the unit together to actually be a family unit, but also bring a level of healing, because we're not just dealing with that little family right there. You got to deal with, for me, what I understand, you got to deal with mindsets that come before.
That's right.
That come before this family, right? How did my mama do it? How did my daddy them do it? How did my auntie them do it when they got married? It was always some other thinkingness or some other intentions. So I ask the both of you, as the audience is listening, we're talking about love, we're talking about family. As we're moving into the aspect of business, what advice would you give a family unit or an individual from that viewpoint? Blended families that they're not in the nation.
Maybe we want to hear that. We're gonna flip that around and ask y'all that. Because y'all come together as a blended, Yeah.
I like you, brother Farad.
Oh, yeah. We know the history. We know what's going on. Oh, well, I'm letting go ahead.
But that's because I like that. I like this kind of stuff because it really deals with the mindset of things. And Sister Naira, you really hit it. What I was even thinking on the mindsets of the other mindsets. To those listening, if this is a question that comes up in your life, you have to get that vision. You have to put a picture up of what your goal is, because sometimes we will come with what is just in my mind, but what is in your mind, sometimes what was in my mind could just be what my mama did, what my daddy and them did, so it's kind of like in the scripture, when in the Holy Quran, I think this is I'm not sure exactly where it's at, but it said, what about what we found our fathers in doing? It's like, and what if your fathers was fools? So it's like,
even they had no knowledge.
So it's like, even if you are going to base something on people who don't even have a track record of success, you know what I'm saying? I could be, let me say it like this: be humble enough to be able to examine yourself, your family, we're in your family line, your spouse's family line. Be humble enough to say that what we had was not necessarily it. If that's the case, especially if you're asking a question, then things must be in the place where you're looking for change. So that change has to come when you say, all right, well, maybe what I had is not it. It wasn't working. So I have to now look out to the degree to say, can I find something that I can aim for? Because if I'm doing this and I don't like it, how do they say? Insanity is doing the same thing, looking for a different result. So something has to change. You have to look at something different so that you can do something different so that you can get a different result. So where family is concerned, we got to get rid of something else that you said earlier, Sister Naira. my business, my personal thing. Yes, there is a degree of privacy among certain things. But when for there to be a podcast that is absolutely relevant in this time called Repair, not just a podcast, but a business, right? The repair of the Black family, for this entity to be birthed and to be necessary, then that goes to show that change is here. So these kinds of things, we have to be able to, again, be humble enough to say, well, something was broken. We got to repair it. So I got to do something different. We have to be in that kind of state of mind to be able to put a different picture up to go after something different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said it, Brother Farad. Do you want to say anything? Because I'm gonna answer your question, sir, on my podcast.
Well, I mean, it got to be. You got to have. If you're gonna come together on a blended family, it got to be trust. Because it got to be vice versa. Because if I had children and I let her, you know what I'm saying, involved or in the house or around them or what, it got to be trust.
Yes.
That's like right now, like what we got, like if we don't really trust you, like you can't take our little ones nowhere. Right? We gonna leave you. We gonna leave you at our home unattended with them, right? I mean, because it ain't just about we talking about you physically doing something to them, right? But it's also about what would you feed them? What would you let them watch? You feel what I'm saying? What would you let them listen to in the car? You know what I'm saying? So all of that. So there's just certain things we don't do, and these children will not experience that. You see what I'm saying? Because the master told us what to give to the children, what not to give to the children. So we're real strict and firm on that. You know what I'm saying? So, but the trust though, if you coming together being a family, if it's the woman, you got to trust the man that you talking about, your husband that you want to expose to your children, and vice versa. The man it got to be trust. It has to be trust, because that will grow the love and the bond. And that's why we grew so quick, because the trust that she showed in me with the two children. See, I had one already, but she was with her godmama. She was already a teenage anyway. You know what I'm saying? So that's different. So age is all that play a part. You know what I'm saying? But trust has to be there. You have to trust your significant other that they are the right person, that you are willing to say, help raise these children with me and let us be one family. It has to be that. You know what I'm saying? It has to be trust. Absolutely. And but the most important thing about it, well, Allah has to be at the center.
Say that.
He has to be at the center of y'all thoughts, y'all arrangement, your goals, everything. He has to be at the center. Because if he at the center, then you will have the trust for the person, because you know, if it goes some another way, but then you had a communication. As the minister told us that his children never heard him and Mother Khadijah argue. That didn't mean they didn't argue, right? They just never heard. They went in a closed room and she would check him about certain things. He might check her about certain, you know what I'm saying? It's just that. Which, right, and the heated conversation could happen, but it's the children not exposed to this. The children don't see this. They don't see the parents arguing. They just see love. You know what I'm saying? They don't really see that type of stuff. So that will build the trust. Trust will build the love for one another and the respect for one another. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I would answer that.
Absolutely. And that's a very powerful point on both of you all and what you said. And what I'm hearing from both of you, the beauty of having the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as a guide, right? So you come in with, it's almost like we got a blueprint for everything. That's what I feel like. I don't know if you all feel the same way, but I feel like, no, and I don't just feel that. I know we have a blueprint. There's a lecture, there's a tape, there's a structure for every single thing. But for me, coming into the Nation of Islam, I didn't have that when I met my husband. Okay. I didn't have the blueprint, you know, and I already had 3 children when he met me. So, you know, we came in with a different, I'm answering your question, Brother Farad, because there's growth in this process, right? And that's where that healing comes. You know, I'm talking about my story. I came from a family, my parents loved me. God knows they do, they did. You know, my dad's not here. They loved me, but they did the best that they could do with me and us. My parents had me very young. So, you know, my mom was 17, my dad was probably like 21. You know, they was hustlers. They had things going on. They was, you know, you understand. So I came up with a lot of love to the degree that they knew how to give love, but it was a dysfunctional household. So I had behaviors, right? This is my second marriage, not my first marriage. So coming in with the blended family thing, one thing that I did have though, y'all want to hear this? Yes. I didn't have the structure of the nation. I didn't have, okay, let me do it the way God said. I didn't have that. But what I did have is I had examples. I had an example of what I wanted my family to look like. And that was my auntie in California, her and her husband and their family, right? They just seemed to have it all together. And then I had the Cosby Show. Right? Those was my 2 examples of what I felt like a family unit should look like. So by the time I got to my husband, who I'm with now, I had a model image. And I'm saying this for anybody out there. You got to have an image of what you want in your family to bring it into existence. But what I did know that I had is I had love for my children, and I had the love that I had for my husband at the time, and the potential of what we was going to build together. Make sense? Now, coming into the Nation of Islam, we got the tools. So I would say to anybody, like Sister Yatiri said, you got to be willing to get the tools, but you got to have that vision, that blueprint. What is your blueprint? Right? That end goal, that end result. And so I had to build up, Brother Farad, to the trust, because I didn't have that trust when my husband came into this family. I was like, hold up, you beat my son, you know. But then here we go. It's called surrender. So I would say to a blended family, you know your roles, know your position, because in this world, roles have been reversed. We're talking about family, y'all. The roles have been reversed. Okay. Right. So I had to learn my role as a Black woman, getting remarried again, strong, independent woman, but come on now, here's the one word that most people don't want to hear, Sister Yatiri, submissive.
Submissive.
Come on. I had to learn that, okay? But I had to learn who and what I was submitting to. I was submitting to the God in that man. And that took discipline, that took grooming. I had to be groomed up into this, right? But it's the best thing that I could have ever done. It's the best choice that I could have ever made to learn myself as a woman of God. I had to declare it. I had to declare that this is how a woman of God operates. She let that, come on now. She don't let that man, she allowed him to be the position in his house as the head of the household. I had to learn that. I had to get with that program. Okay. So my husband coming up, I had to get with the program. And that wasn't easy for me. But thank God. Yes. Thank God. Like you said, I had to be humble. And I had to learn that I have a role in this. And my role is just as valuable because I'm the co-creator with the God. Come on now. Come on. So when you know your value, you know your worth, you want the best for your children as mother. So that's how I had to do it, Brother Farad. I had to submit to the structure of family. Hello, somebody. I ain't always had it, brother. But what I'm saying to anybody that's listening to this, I was willing to submit. I was willing to do everything that I did not see before me. Let me say that one more time.
Come on.
I was willing to submit to everything I did not see before me. Woo. To be and to create the family of God. Purpose. I have purpose. That's right. We're creating the family of God. And I'm turning this digital microphone over to my husband because I get real passionate when it comes to the family because I know that the enemy want to continue to destroy us. That's right? He want to keep us out of our role.
That's right.
And so for me, I understand now growing up and maturing and the family of God, that the family is a business. So everything we do is investment. It's an investment for my husband be the head, for God, Christ, husband, wife, children. We investing into our future. So coming together as a blended family, no, we one unit, and it's called God's unit.
That's right.
So, that's what I would say to anybody that's listening, because we're going to move right into business, and we're talking about the 3 sciences. This is the art of mating. Mating is not just laying down in the bed and, you feel me? I had to learn how to be a mate to my husband. Lord have mercy, Jesus, let me be quiet because I get passionate. Why you ask me that on my podcast? How you going to ask me a question on my podcast?
We only going on 5 years, but y'all over 20 years. I mean, come on.
Yes. But it's love. And I'm happy that you asked me the question, because you gave me an opportunity to express the beauty of being the family of God. See? Woo! Woo! Brother David, I'm turning it over.
I love that one right there.
That's right.
But yes, sir. For me, it was different as well, because I came from a different kind of background in terms of growing up in the church. My father was married. Actually, he married 3 times, and my biological mother wasn't in the house. She actually left when I was 2 years old. But what stuck out for me was my father was always big on family, and he didn't play the step thing either. He actually hated it. And that was the one thing that really stuck with me growing up, was to never have a mind of separation. And I grew into having that same hate, like what's even the purpose? Because we could all have fun together, be one big happy family, right? It was 11 of us in total, and so it was always a beautiful time. And what I think is necessary is really having the firmest faith that you can have, not just in what you bring to the table, but what Allah God has in store for us. And I just always believed, ever since I was 15 years old, that was my prayer, was to have a happy family and to grow with a wife that loved me. And so when my wife and I, she mentioned earlier that within 3 days, she knew that I was her husband. Well, in those same 3 days, I knew she was my wife. And it was just meant. It was something that was already in the works of Allah's plan, not mine. All I did was pray. So I just think it's necessary absolutely for the man to have a vision, but also for him to have the necessary faith, the required faith to move out and do what's necessary to fulfill the promise of Allah.
I'll praise.
And there you have it, folks.
Can I say one thing though to that? I think I told it to my wife recently. I said, see, when I see y'all look truly happy together. Now we all got trials, we all got our own struggles, so that's everybody dealing with that. But y'all actually look happy together. And one thing that shows it. All right, so me, of course, sister, me and brother Dawood have talked more. We have seen each other more, right? Whether we in class or whatever, all right. Whether he comes to the mosque, we interact, what I'm saying, and whatnot. And he has always been the same person. Like but folks do that now. I might even do it. I ain't gonna say like I might even do it because I have a lot of stuff going on. And, sometimes my brother me the wrong way. I might don't want to speak to that brother. You know what I'm saying? That's me. Not him though. Towards me now. I'm saying I don't know how that is with anybody else. Like he is always brother Dawood Muhammad. I can expect the same thing, same level, high level conversation, the same attitude, the same smile, right? I'm talking about it that's just. But then when I interact with you, and when I do run across you and see you the same way too. Like, yeah, well, this is the masculine side, and here's the feminine side, but they one person. All praise be to Allah, for y'all.
All praises due to Allah. All praises due to Allah. You know, that comes that
y'all are married. Y'all are one with the
yes, we look. But you know what? You said something. Let me just say this right here. It takes intention and it takes work. Right? We intentionally, I know for me, and I feel like my husband feel the same thing. I don't just want to be married. I pride myself by Allah's permission being happily married. That's the energy we create.
Not just happily married, but happily married to you.
That's right. You understand what I'm saying? So it's something, come on now. It says it's life and death is in the power of the tongue. We speak it. We happily married. It's the word. Go back to the word, but then we follow it up with the action. See, I believe you have to decide a thing, and it is so. Let me say that one more time. You got to decide a thing, and it is so. We decided that we're about to do 25 years married, 26 years together. We decided. I lost permission. All praises due to Allah. But we're happy, and thank you for noticing and acknowledging, because that's one of our goals in life, is to set a good example.
That's right.
Black men and women, black love is real.
That's right.
And we're gonna do this. And look, here we go, Brother Farad, Syria. That is the business.
Yes.
That's the business of God. He's putting the family unit back together when this world, the enemies, the suppressors of the world, the enemies of this world that wanted to tear down the black family in particular. God is on the scene now. And he has chosen a lot of people, but I know he done chose Brother David and Sister Nair to prove that he's present.
I know that's right.
He's present, because we couldn't do this by ourselves. We couldn't do it by ourselves. And so with that being said, and thank you all for that. And I know this is the longest podcast I've had in a long time, but I'm going to say this. That's how we know how important it is. But I just want to say this. When it comes to these three sciences, we talked about the science of mating, love, right? We talked about let me say this. Business, warfare. Okay, so I want to go into this. So with business, we talked about the family as a business, but I really want to talk about business, because I heard Brother Farad say he went from selling them papers to y'all, like, y'all close to the multi-million now, huh? Y'all close to the millions over here, okay? But let's talk about business and family, how all that works together. And I really got a good question that I feel like, well, let's just talk about the business before I go into that question. Let's talk about this business. What's the name of your business?
FardMoney Network, New Millennium Bankers. We got actually two brands. FardMoney Network is the legal license brand, the business. But we do have the two brands, FardMoney Network and New Millennium Bankers. And like I say, we look for systems that will make in networks. Because see, one of the reasons of our poorness and our lack and poverty is because we don't have no systems. We don't have networks. We don't have institutions. And so once I seen that, because I've just been blessed. Let me just put it like that.
Come on now.
I think one of the gifts, my main gift that Allah has blessed me with, what most people struggle with, is that one of my main strengths is, see, I don't just study, I just read just to read. I'm actually trying to comprehend what the hell I'm reading, because I want to use it. If I can't comprehend it, I can't understand it, I can't use it. right? So this book here is so important. If you ever want to know anything about business, finance, money, because see, yes, we talk about the 3 signs: the signs of business, the signs of warfare, the signs of mating. In those sciences is everything, right? But you also got the signs of money, the signs of banking, the signs of networking, right? You also got those signs too. But those 3 pretty much engulf all of them, right? But to understand the science of business, you got to know what the root of business is. See, the root of business, a lot of us miss it. I'm gonna say it, and I hope everybody, the viewers, everybody can catch it. The science.
Name the book for those who can't see.
Oh,
say the name of the book for those who can't see it.
This book here
it's on podcast.
The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, Volume 2, subtitle: How Jews Gain Control of the Black American Economy. And this book is by the Nation of Islam Research Department. And I'm gonna read the quote on the back of the book. It's a heavy quote on the back of the book by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who the Holy Quran was revealed to from 1400 years ago. Quote, "One learned man is harder on the devil than 1,000 ignorant worshipers." End quote. So this book, I saw, and then another thing too, you can't really just read this book and get it in its full totality. Because remember, when it's a book or revelation or some hidden high science, it's always a man that brings it, right? Well, the minister did a 3-part lecture series for this book, for the release of this book. Who are the real children of Israel? 1, 2, and 3. So before I had the book, I studied the lectures. I didn't have the book. But in the first one, he literally held this book up and said that this book uncovers the architecture of white supremacy. I said, oh, so when I saw that and heard him say that, I'm in prison. I said, I gotta get that book. I gotta get that book in my hand. I gotta study that book before I get up out of here. That was because he ain't never held no other book up to say nothing like that. This give us the architecture of white supremacy. Now that go back to the Mosam Muhammad saying that what? He Yaku in reverse. That line up, that measure up with that, right? And it go to measure to the Mosam Muhammad told us to study the white man. The minister has put on the Caucasian race, the minister has put the people that's the highest of them, which is the Jews, the so-called Jews, right? This is who to study. This is who run everything. So understanding that, but the root of business, family, it's one word. It ain't even a long definition just to do that. It is leverage. Now, in the world we living in now,
say that one more time for the listening audience.
It is leverage. That's the root of business. Any business, you need leverage, because the leverage will determine how you can scale and expand that business, or how you can even launch the business, right? Even because, see, in this world, we are taught that the only leverage for business is trying to use somebody else's money, credit, right? But credit upholds the system that we're trying to get out of. See? So that can't be it. And when you're dealing with network marketing. See, network marketing, MLM, multi-level marketing, that's pure leverage. Pure leverage. Uncut, untampered with. Think about it. So when I hear, it irks me. When I hear people in the Nation of Islam say, I don't do MLM, I don't do network marketing, I be saying to myself, damn, you probably ain't had no guests there. The last time you had some guests there. What the hell you think you're doing when you bring people to the mosque? When you invite people to the mosque, what you think you're doing? You feel me?
Break it
you
down.
Ain't you ain't getting no monetary gain. Right? Think about it. I'm getting a blessing or a reward or getting recognized with the God. Just today alone, I had 6 guests. 5 of them repeat guests, 1 first time. 6. Right? I ain't got a dime for them. Let me bring them 6 to my network though. And if just one do something, I make some money. You see, it's just leverage. And then if he go and tell somebody, it expand. No different from Master FardMoney came in North America and started teaching in 1930. The man that he was to exalt and make him the Christ and give him all the power over everything but himself, he didn't even invite him to the temple, to the meeting. Mother Clara went, heard him, went back and told her husband that she heard this man, and he said, let me go check him out. That's all we do in network marketing. Hey, come take a look at this. That's it. That's all we do. Take a look at this.
So what you're saying to people that's listening, and this is and we in the nation, all of us that's on here, we in the nation, but everyone that's listening, what he's saying is, if you want to build a business in 2024, get into network marketing. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, because it's low cost, right? You get all type of tax breaks if you structure it right. It gives you a 1099 because now we got to know the tax game too. When you're a wage earner, you got a W-2, W-4 tax form. If you start a network marketing business, home-based business as it is on the taxes, that flip that around and give you 1099. See, just a flip in the form. Mm-hmm. Just that little switch right there. You ain't got to make no money. You ain't got to make no money. You don't even have to make no money to get discount, and you ain't got to pay taxes as you go. Taxes was set up for the workers, and that's what keep the workers working, because you are getting raw for 30-40% of your check before you even get it. So that's why people can't get out of the rat race. But if they tried to and just could cut down on some expenses and some vices that they shouldn't be doing, you feel what I'm saying? Then they would be able to do it if they are open to. But the building of the wealth, the going free, see, that's a journey. You feel what I'm saying? That's a journey. That's a struggle in itself to get out of the 9-to-5 job. That's a real struggle. You have to go through things. You have to, but you got to play the wealth principle game. You have to play it.
Hold it right there. The wealth, I want y'all to write this in the comment section. And if you're taking notes, this has been a very good podcast. The wealth principle game. Okay, give me 3 principles. What's the wealth principle game? Give me three points. We only got about 10 minutes on this podcast. So give me 3 principles, because I want to hear about FardMoney. I want to hear about y'all business, exactly what y'all do. But you said something very powerful. What would you tell my audience about the wealth principle game?
Well, the number one wealth building principle that one has to do. You have to pay yourself first, because a portion of everything of everything that Sister Nair, Brother Dawu make is yours to keep. Mm-hmm. But that's gonna lead you to the other sides of what money is, because you can't hold dollars. Mm-hmm. That ain't money. So you got to know the difference.
Tell us what it is.
You got to know the difference between money and currency. See, that's going to lead back to that, because some people saying, "Well, I got money in the bank," but you losing because the dollar's going down in purchasing power. So you're not actually saving. You'll be better off going and buy it, because tomorrow, what you could buy with that $100,000 or $10,000 or $1,000 today, you ain't gonna be able to buy the same value tomorrow. So you are losing by holding cash. That's why Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, one of his controversial quotes is, "Savers are losers." So he's talking about saving in cash. But if I take that cash, a portion of it, and I get me some bullion gold. I get me some bullion silver. See, now I'm paying myself first because that's going to hold its value for another 1,000 years that I can pass down. Now, it's a whole catch to that too. That ain't going to give you no dividend. That ain't going to give you no passive income either though. So you got to learn the wealth game, but the first principle is pay yourself first. You have to pay a portion, everything you make. I don't care if it was $5, $10. If you gotta save some of it in something that's gonna hold its value. You can't put that $5 in that shoebox and talking about at the end of the year, you're gonna see how much that is. Because every time you get a $5 bill, you put it in there. Find you how to get you some $5. Huh? Oh, this is what we teach. This is what we've been teaching.
Absolutely.
And this is the principles that we established FardMoney Network on. This is what I was doing when I was selling those papers 7 days a week. I was building a gold business. That was the network. Well, go ahead.
I just have to say this because I know time is short, and I just, because this is dealing with the science of business aspect of it right here. There's something that is said about the Eurocentric mindset that we have here in the West, in America. And that is that there is this mindset of individuality in such a way where business is related. You have us as a community not communed or united, but we are doing our own thing in business where I got my own thing. I'm doing this, you doing that, we doing this. And it's under the name of business, but really, when we look at the grand scheme of things and we put this book and we put that as a filter over it, what we really have just become, we have glorified jobs and just stamped it that this job I am the owner of, and I just own this job. But it is not necessarily the unifying thing. So as my husband is talking about the power really of networking, well, this is why, again, when it comes to the business, when you look at other corporations, look at monopolies, look at y'all in St. Pete, we are in Tampa, but we got lights on right now. St. Pete, it got one, it's a monopoly on the electric gear. Y'all got one company over here. It's Tico. I forgot what it's called in St. Pete, but this is a monopoly. So you got corporations big that will corner a market. And even when you look at it across the globe, it don't matter what the thing is called. What is it called? Because it's still ran by that select few. Everybody using electricity, but it's run by the few. So that's business on how they doing on the networking scale, even on something like that, right? But we have to really get into this understanding of how we're supposed to. We have to connect ourselves in a network. It doesn't matter if your business or your product. This is the bigger part of it. It doesn't matter if your product is whatever it may be. We have to find a way to connect them, and that's the most vivid picture that right now I'm able to articulate, plugging something up into a wall. But when you're disconnected, I'll close with this example. You can have 10 Black businesses in a circle, and you can have $1,000 and you saying, I'm going to go and support these Black businesses. And I'm taking $100 to all 10 of them. What happens is you take that $100 to 10 businesses, and they don't necessarily, it doesn't matter if they're going to say, well, I'm going to go spend it over here too. When you have this architectural system set up, the secret relationship between Black, I'm holding the book up for the listening audience who doesn't have the visuals. Then when you're operating from this economic system that we're operating from, those $100 is going right into, like my husband said, 30% or more is going right back into the architecture of white supremacy. That is, it's not, and then the other $70 or 70% or less is that's still just overhead. It's not doing something that necessarily benefits the community.
The whole.
Don't benefit the whole. It does not benefit the whole. That individual group or that individual business has to deal whatever its finances are, and then that's just where it starts, and that's just where it stops. Even if the intention is, well, I'll take a little bit of mine, I'm going to go spend a little bit over here. well, then a little bit there, still go a piece of it because it's a network and it's an economic system that's against us. Go ahead, husband.
And two, when we're dealing with the signs of business, why have a business that you couldn't offer to anybody? Why have a business that you can? I'm just telling you. So listen. So why have a business that you couldn't offer Jay-Z, Rick Ross? Why have a business that you couldn't offer them? To either, hey man, hey listen, okay, so you got homeboys and family members you need to get out your pocket. So maybe you don't need the money, Rick Ross. You're buying $20 million watches. You don't need what we got, right? But you do. However, who in your network need it? And we can sit you at the top of it and let that cash flow or the revenue flow hit you too. So this could be another stream for you, whether if you do it or not. Just expose us to your network. You feel what I'm saying? Expose why? Because why have something that I can't call Brother Dawood and say, hey man, how you doing, man? Struggling, man. I had to pick up this second job. They're using it for an example. I had to pick this second job. Hey, look, man, over here for whatever, man, $50 a month, man. You can run this business here. And you can do it while you keep the job. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm offering a way to make money. Not support my business. I'm selling calendars. I'm selling earpods. Well, that just support me. You might don't even need. I got 2 earpods right here. So you can start saying, I got the earpods. I got 2 of them from Apple. I don't need them. You feel me? I don't need them. And the Arabs got them on every corner. You know what I'm saying? They got the duplicate of these for less than what Apple sell them for. You feel what I'm saying? On every corner. So it's but I need to be, hey man, listen, man. But we got this business over here. You can start this over here with this here. How much I need, man? 200, 100, 1,000, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you can run the business. You feel what I'm saying? From what you're doing. Why start a business that you can't take to anybody?
Wow, that's powerful. So what I'm getting from what FardMoney offers is the true architectural science of do for self or suffer the consequences.
Oh, we're gonna have to use
Because do for self is not just I go and, like you said, like my wife said, go and start this business that it just benefits me.
I got it.
Do for self is providing a service for everybody that look like you. That's self. Do for self. Right? You are my other self.
You don't put that on a whole nother level.
You're my other self.
You put that. I'm gonna need you say that one more time because I got 5 minutes with you. Huh? Say it one more time. Say it one more again. Say it one more time.
Is to provide something for your other self. What that's doing for self. Me going, you can a technical person working a job and say he's doing for self. He's making sure he got income for him and his family. But that's supporting who? That's upholding who? But if I start this network where we all can come in and get money, right? We all need income. Unless you're Warren Buffett. Who is Warren Buffett on the line? Is Bill Gates on the line? Not yet. Yeah, it's Jay-Z on the line. Yeah, it's Michael Jordan on the line. They big. See, we got to really deal with the numbers. Millionaire to billionaire, that's a whole nother level right there now. That's a whole nother level. You can get to $1 million, ain't really that much. You can be net worth $1 million. I done did that before, right? I'm probably that now. If I calculate all my stuff, net worth, right? But cash flow millionaire something different. But cash flow millionaire something different. That's something different than a net worth millionaire, right? Net worth millionaire meaning your business, your assets, the income coming in total up to you worth over $1 million, right? But it ain't liquid. All of it ain't liquid though. But cash flow millionaire meaning, hey, well, you make $100,000 a month. Well, in 10 months, you make $1 million. You cash flow millionaire. Now that's a whole different level right there now. You know what I'm saying?
I need to get a conversation with y'all because FardMoney, it seems like y'all got the science. Look, I ain't where I need to be. That's because I ain't connected to the right power sources, okay? So with that being said, I'm gonna connect to y'all. Y'all gonna hold on, don't y'all get off? But I gotta ask you a question. Don't get off, because even after this, I want to connect, because what I'm hearing is, see, it's power. It's power not just in numbers, but it's the collective. It's power in systems.
Oh,
and you
that's what we're fighting.
I got it, and I'm just saying it to my listening audience. Trust me, I'm a person that duplicates very well. Okay, and so what you just presented to everybody that's listening, you presented systems, and you really given us an architectural blueprint on how to get out the rat race. That's what I'm hearing from you all, right? So that now. And you dropped the Adams bond on my podcast. You dropped the Adams bond. You told me and my audience, do for self mean do for yourself. People that look like you, the other kind. So when you look at yourself, you're doing for them too. And what that symbolizes to me, not even symbolize it's an isness. The isness is we are creating generational wealth.
Come on.
Business. We are healing poverty mindsets, because before you could be a cash flow millionaire, what was the other one you just said? The other millionaire?
Net worth millionaire, which is like portfolio. Then you got portfolio millionaire, yeah.
All of that. And I ain't even heard of all them different types of millionaires. So I got to get real clear in my vision. And you helping me now. See, you answer prayer. Y'all are answer prayer for the real. Okay? So I got to get very detailed in my manifestations. What type of millionaire I'm going to be, okay? That I am bringing into existence. So what I'm hearing is, in order to do that, we have to eradicate the poverty mindset that has been passed down from generations to generations. And then now that we're in 2024, business is warfare, we got to stop letting naysayers get into our ears and talk us out of our blessing. Good God Almighty. I'm telling you, that's what I'm getting from y'all. That's what's resonating in my spirit.
Can I say one thing about the systems too? In our supreme wisdom lessons, it's detailed in there about us creating systems and networks with problem 13. You don't even have to go past problem 13, because if you look at it, it says use your mathematical theology, right? Why you get some benefit while you are living. Mathematics is Islam is mathematics. It's mathematics Islam, right? That's the first paragraph. So you can attain luxury, money, good homes while you live.
Yes.
Sit yourself in heaven at once. Now, when it get to it's 26 letters in the alphabet. If a student learned one letter per day, how long would it take him to learn the 26 letters? See, that's systematic. Because that's something you have to do consistently every single day. Study an alphabet. Whatever that alphabet might be, what he's talking about, I've heard different things. But to study that particular alphabet, and then to get to the numbers. See, this is a system. This is to get you thinking mathematically, thinking system, because you're doing this every day. It's a, you know what I'm saying? You're doing it every day. You got to be disciplined. I can want to lose 30, 40 pounds. But if I don't go to the gym every day and get on the treadmill,
it ain't happening.
It ain't gonna happen, because I went one day out of the week. You feel me? So out of 8, 7, out of 8 every day. So this is the system. It's right there in our lessons. We just get this all from the lesson. Problem 13. That's why he put it in our face twice when you got the book. You read this, because this is your
Brother Farad, you done did it. You done said it all. And what I want, I'm very like, I'm saying this because I'm gonna connect with you all afterwards. You've provided, I believe you have provided the healing, you all both, when it comes to love, family, and business. And we are in the business of saving lives.
That's right.
And I just want to thank you all for contributing to the process of saving lives, in particular, starting with, but not limited to, Black lives.
That's right.
To bring us from the bottom. Well, we fulfill the scripture right now, to bring us from the bottom and place us on top of civilization. That's the promise. And we believe that all of the promises are true. But we also don't believe, and this is for everybody, I don't care race, class, creed, color, religion, it don't matter. All of God's promises are true. All we got to do, Brother Farad and Sister Eteria, is position ourselves to receive the promise. And so today was a positioning. And I want to just thank you all for sharing your intellectual property with love, to be able to help others. And I want people to get connected to you because what you both have to offer is so valuable. So we want them to follow you on YouTube at FardMoney, FardMoney, YouTube. Follow them at FardMoney. They have so much more. This was just a tip of the fingernail, okay? They have so much more to offer the people at Fard, FardMoney. On YouTube. Go connect with this. Look, they done told us 4 different ways on how to be a millionaire. Now, if you just sitting back and you're broke and you ain't got no money, you done missed the. I'm going to connect to them. Okay. You know, sometimes you can have a blessing and don't even know that the blessings are sitting before you. So I just need y'all, for real, I have 2 minutes. Give my audience 3 things that you want them, that as a result of listening to you. Listen to FardMoney. That you done drop some jewels, but 3 things real quick. I got 2 minutes for real that they can walk away and write down that they can apply in their lives as a result of listening to both of you for love, family, business. 2 minutes.
Mother trying to give me. I don't. Okay, applying this today. Number 1, pay yourself first. Rewind that part. Get that. Pay yourself first. 2. We talked about that was the money. Let's say something with the family. Get yourself the image, the proper image that you need to put before you, that you and your spouse and your family can strive for together. That's 2. 3, go join a network. Find a network to become, start one, launch one, right? Get yourself involved in a network. I think that's the 3 takeaways.
That's it. And so with that being said, let me put y'all in the back. I want to thank y'all so much. And I'm connected to FardMoney at FardMoney on YouTube. All right. Peace and love with you all.
We invited you here to give you an earth-shaking announcement that from this day forward, we will be challenged to prove. But if you watch us, if you listen to us, I guarantee you every nation and every kingdom on earth will be rocked by the power coming from this tiny little budding nation that Jesus described as a mustard seed. That's right. But when it germinates and grows and spreads its branches, every fowl and every bird will find a refuge under its wings. You are looking at the birth, not just of the Nation of Islam, but the birth of the kingdom of God Almighty on earth. You Muslim scholars, you are looking at the birth of the kingdom of Islam. We called you here like the wise men of old who saw a star and they traveled to where the baby was. The baby had no room to come to birth. She had to give birth in a manger, or come to birth in a manger. The wise men who saw the baby came bringing gold. What baby needs gold? All babies that I know of need milk. But here's a baby that needs gold. Gold for what? It's not talking about a child being born from a single mother. It's talking about a nation coming to birth that needs gold to build its own institutions and carve out a destiny for itself. Hell and set up heaven right on earth. And it's so simple. We have a project that we are working on. We call it Project Steal Away, an FOI and MGT financial freedom plan. We want every brother and every sister within the next year to be able to say, I do not work for white folks anymore. I work for myself. Now look, do you realize what it takes to build a hospital? Do you realize what it takes to build a university? You can't build a hospital and a university. You can't buy tens of thousands of acres of land to feed our people if we're just gonna wait on the little money you make from the white man to give a little charitable donation. We'll be around here for the next 1,000 years talking about building a school or a hospital. Do you realize that if we took this financial freedom plan and said, look, I'm really going to try and work for myself. I'm going to use my life in a better way. I'm going to stop believing that there's some mystery God that's going to change reality for me. I'm going to change the reality in my own life. Brother, when you start thinking like that, you will start using the power of your own self, and you'll see that you got all the power you need to change reality. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, the fire of the sun is the life and the energy that energizes our universe. He said the fire of the sun is in all of us. So that means you've got light, you've got power. It just has to be turned on, activated. Now just think with me in the closing minutes of this lecture, what damage it does to your mind to think that there's a mystery God. Check this out. I'm at home and I'm hungry. My children are hungry. And I go in my next room and I pray, Lord, give us this day our daily bread. Amen. And I come out and sit down. Children, don't worry. The Lord is going to take care of everything. You keep on sitting there, doing nothing, praying that the Lord will give you some daily bread. See, if you and your family don't starve to death, waiting on the Lord. But if you went in your room and said, Lord, give us this day our daily bread. And I know you're going to do it because you got control over conditions. So now, Lord, I'm going to work in my wheat field. I'm plowing it up. And I'm planting wheat because you can't have bread without wheat or flour. So I'm doing my part. Then God sends the clouds with the rain and the earth does its part. And before you know it, I got a field of wheat and I grind the wheat into flour and then I make me some daily bread. I'm talking about daily the mayor giving you bread. I'm talking about you going to work daily producing your own bread. If you sit around and wait for a mystery God, you're going to be poor, ragged, hungry, naked, and out of doors. Any of you Muslims who call yourself followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, they're still working for the Caucasian and still planning to stay there with him. You don't follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. If you follow the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you know that the white man is going to dump black people, and he already has dumped a great portion of us. He doesn't have no more jobs for our young men. So what are we going to do? Allow our young men to be swallowed up selling drugs? Or are we going to call our young men and say, no, we got to go to work and create jobs for ourselves? I'm saying steal away. If you can't walk away, steal away, and let's go on and do something for ourselves.
This is not a good take, brother Captain. Go ahead, brother. Physical. You understand physical now, you need money. So FOI, brother Captain, in the restructuring of the FOI, we have to teach and train every man.
Yes, sir.
To be one who knows how to make money, to be more of a provider and maintainer for his family. That is making a man.
Yes, sir.
You with me, brother?
Yes, sir.
Don't you want to know more how to make more money?
Yes, sir.
If you don't have a job, then there must be those in the FOI that teach us sales technique so that we can become a master.
Yes, sir.
Because the more you master selling, I mean, you can sell anything and make a living, and the more you sell, the more money you make, and the more money you make, you can make a good home.
Come on.
And friendship in all walk of life. I'm getting to the home part later.
Yes, sir.
But we just talking about role now.
Yes, sir.
Maintain. Go home tonight, get your dictionary, and if you have a Roget's thesaurus, men, look up the word maintenance and all that goes with it, study it. Satisfied until we have the college level on the University of Islam. And if you help me by doing what you can in the economic field, Muslims, you shouldn't be around here looking to white people to give you a job. Go look in message to the black man and the economic blueprint. And if there are 4 of you, 6 of you, 8 of you together, pool your resources, go into business and set up business all over the south and west side of Chicago. I would like to see at least 100 millionaires among the Muslims in Chicago. If you're rich, I'm rich. And I can always come and tell you about the needs of a nation. But if you poor and we poor, hell man, we can't be around here poor. I want to see rich Muslims. And if you obey Allah, there's no reason why you can't make a business successful. You just have to get up and stop being lazy and trifling and go do something for yourself. So we're going to put together a trade delegation of Muslims and, well, everybody's a Muslim. But there are those who have not confessed Islam, but they are brilliant in business. We made promises to governments, and we're going to fulfill our promise. There's all kinds of investment opportunities. Diamonds, gold, uranium, oil. I mean, you name it, Africa is open. And the Europeans are coming in with money and they're taking Africa. Well, why can't we go? They're ready to sell gold mines to us. They're ready for us to develop gold. Well, where's Michael Jackson? Where's Shaq O'Neal? Where? We need to pull our moneyed people together and let's do some business now, because we can't build a nation on the charity of the believer. We can only build a nation on a strong economic foundation that's built on business, agriculture, agribusiness. Yes, sir.